this. I hit go live anyway. I like that light the best. I got a new robe too. I like the color. We're gonna press to start. So, things are weird. It's been pretty quiet where me and Mom have been. Where we are. I haven't had a lot of juice. I haven't had a whole lot of energy to do a whole lot of stuff. So I've been recharging my batteries, and then I just imagine the world better. And then think about how I get ideas, and then I think about, okay, now how would I get these ideas to come into fruition? Because that's the hard part. But there's promising things. Oh shit, did I just break my light? Oh, it spilled my coffee. Did I break it? Yes. Of course I broke it. It frickin' snapped off the little hook part. Damn it. Dang it. My light broke. I'll rig it. But confound it. I hate when I drop stuff and stuff breaks. Where's the rest? Confound it. Where's the rest of the broken parts? Oh well. Anyway, I put something out on social media today because I want to see if things are. I come up with ideas and then I think, okay, is it worth the bother? Because the ideas that I come up with are just going to be a big old pain in the ass to try and get to implement, but at the same time it would benefit so many people. And so I went to a community group on Facebook called it.House Anything. I think that's what it's called. There's a group called that. Is that the one that I posted on today? Let's see. Where's my notifications? Okay, Taos Ask Anything. And I said, would you pick up garbage in Taos County for $15 an hour with supplies provided, gloves, trash, bags, etc.? And so 39 people actually chimed in. Only a couple are clowns, and it's always a dude named Ian that has to say something unuseful. So people are saying yes on occasion and would do it as a volunteer, someone who could use it to work as well. If you could be kind to share as it develops, 20, and then people are like $20 an hour. But they don't get like it's a point system. Like you start out doing garbage and then you could build up to doing things that require more responsibilities in your own community. People are saying yes. Other people are saying if I needed a job, I would. Other people are saying I would love to. So people are engaging that they would. Some people are saying no, but that's okay. Another person said, if I needed another job, I absolutely would. Heck, I do it for free. Yeah, but they're missing the point about the whole, I want it. Everybody deserves to get paid for their time. One lady said no, but I know someone who would. Other people are saying, and my preteen sons would love the opportunity to do this too. That's the thing, is like, as long as you had a bank account and had Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, any online account, even Apple Pay would work. Do you have to have a bank account for Apple Pay? Anyway. It's no different than like, I don't know. There's so many better ways to do things in society than they've done for the last 250 years. And now we're watching like the swan song of the United States. It's really bizarre. to watch the. When I was a little kid and they made me take history class and they talk about the Constitution and the all your rights and amendments, and that's all smart people stuff. That wasn't for me. And then by the time I got to high school and I was questioning everything, like, nah, man, this is bullshit. Like, history is contingent on who owns the printing press. It doesn't matter what really happens, because the story's gonna go how the winner says it's gonna go, and the winners own the printing presses. That's a weird thing to say. What a weird thing to be freaking interested. That's like, I mean, looks are important to me, but I'm not so shallow that of all the things that I just said, that's your takeaway points. That's pretty LD energy. That's a lot of LD energy. So anyway, I'm getting one of these. Where is it? I'm building a little temporary kitchen in the back of my car, and I'm getting one of these little jackeries for my kitchen. And then I feed people in my community that are hungry, because there's so many people that are hungry, and the churches are building on extra wings, but it doesn't trickle down to the people that I want to help in the community. The real scumbags, the real drudges of society. Because if you raise the bottom rang, the worst of the worst, if you help show them that they don't have to live the lives that they're living that way, and that they could live their lives different, like, and I've seen people go from gray to color. Like, I've seen people go from zombies to get their life back. I've seen it with my own eyes. They just don't have a whole lot of opportunities. That's the thing, is like you got all these false items, all these false for profits, and these like, come here and you can, these homeless shelters, but they have all these hoops and stuff people have to jump through. It's silly. Like, the stuff that they, let people live the way that they want to live. How come we don't have universal income yet? How come that's not a thing? Universal income should definitely be a thing. I was trying to explain it to somebody. I said, think about it. Think about if every being that is born automatically has an account set up in their name, and then $2,000 every month is deposited into that, then you wouldn't have to have, like, college and universities. You could just go have trade schools. And, like, where I live, they have this hippie school, but it only goes until 8th grade. And then what's the kid supposed to do in Taos do? Go to public school? You got all these neurodivergent kids that have been being born for the last, I don't know, it's like the new thing. I think that's how the beak is going to inherit the earth, is from all the neurodivergence, the not so neurotypicals. You can't like me, like, I couldn't sit in a classroom. And just sit there, and then, like, they threw information at me and told me I had to memorize it. But they were always taking me out of class and pulling me over here and jerking me around, and no, you answered like this, so you gotta go do this thing. And I wasn't in gate officially, but I was a part of it indirectly. My brother was in gate. He was in brain drain. He's the part of the program. Totally, man. The people that are easy to manipulate. and they're never accountable because they're always. I don't remember how it happened like that. My hair is still wet, and I haven't washed it in probably 5 days. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. I need to wash it tomorrow. That's why I'm taking it out. I guess I don't really need to wash it because it's still wet, but I'd like to. Ugh. And then I asked another question in Ask Taos that it was about a baseball field. Because I went to the supermarket the other day and there was this young woman that was getting water right in front of me. And she had a young boy who was like 3 years old, 2 years old. He was a toddler. Wasn't a baby, he was like pre-toddler. And I said, and she said something about the baseball field. I said, are you never gonna? I said, does that make you crazy? Does that make you nuts? It's $5 million or $7 million, $7.2 million on a softball field for how many kids to use? And most of the people are part of the program, and they're all about, like, Taos needs it, the kids need it. No, the kids need to learn how to do shit that's useful, not play baseball. Like, New Mexico is the last state in frickin' all things that matter, education, frickin' reading, everything. They're just dead last. Like, kids graduating from college can't read. It's a terrible situation. Yet they still want to perpetuate the go team. Like, and it's silly. And these are parts of the program that just need to go away. They just need to change because, okay, people played baseball for years and years and years. They collected stats. They wore their jerseys. They hoorah, ate their hot dogs, drank their beers year in, year out. All to what end? All for what good? It makes no sense. But things are getting so bizarre in the world stage, like what's going on in Albania. I wasn't too far from Albania. Albania is like Greece is right here, and then Albania is right here, and then Italy's over here. And I was on Crete when we bombed Iraq for no reason, and so I like to keep track about what the frat boys are doing. What those frat boys are doing. Those frat boys, they'll do anything that they want. That's what rich people do. They will just they'll do whatever they want in your face, and it's so unlawful, and they don't care. If you ever watch the movie Trading Places, that's kind of how. First, they put it on TV and they show you this is how it's going to be, and then the world becomes how they say it's going to be, and then they laugh in your face and say, "Oh, you're crazy. It's not like that. It's only like that on TV." And it's this whole mental mind game, and they've been playing it for hundreds of years. And now we're watching the end of the United States. So I just think that people need to not worry about what's going on out there and just every day try and do something to make your own community a little bit better. And that's what I'm trying to do with my kitchen, and we hand out water. Mom loves handing out water to people. People are so thirsty. They don't have access to clean water, but hey, there's a Scary Movie 18 or something out. Like, so many unuseful things, but they never have enough for things that could really help people that don't matter to them, because to them these people don't matter. And I mean, I grew up poor, so I learned how to be comfortable with next to nothing from a very young age. I've always taught us how to live within our means. The world doesn't know how to live within its means. And you know what else the world doesn't know how to do? World doesn't know how to be generous with their time for others. I'm bummed about Matt Brown ending his life because I know that pain. I know that pain. Like you don't want to all of that the places that he was, and his family didn't do him any favors, just like my family hasn't done me any favors. But he lost connection to his higher power, and all those years he did videos on YouTube and stuff. Like, where was his active service? He was in recovery, but he wasn't doing recovery. He wasn't doing things for other people. That's how you have to get out of your head, is by doing things for people that have it worse than you. Because wherever you live, you're surrounded by people that have it worse than you. Wherever I live, there's people that don't have clean water, that don't have running water, that don't have, they don't have food to eat. And the food that they can afford isn't healthy, and it causes diabetes, and it makes people stupid. That's what processed foods does. It makes people like live in loops and just say things that they see on the internet. I live in a good place. I live in a place where people want to contribute to their community. They just don't know how. And everybody deserves to get paid for their time. As much money as we've pissed away on made up fake wars in countries that no United States of Americans are ever going to go to and hang out at. There's a very small, I know people, I used to rub elbows with people that have been to Israel and kiss the wall and dig for their little bones and play their little frat boy games. And now I'm like, oh, they're all Zionists, and I'm not friends with these people anymore, and they have all the advantages, and they're professionals of statistics at prestigious universities and stuff. But what the reality comes down to it is that I fell on hard times, and important people didn't want to do me no favors either. So fuck them all. Borough brats. Military brats, all the people that got all the advantage, because understand how much military officers retired bring home every month. I'm talking 07s and up. I'm talking like 15 grand every month. Cha-ching, direct deposit in their bank account. Why? Because they, what did they do in their career? They racked up little buttons. America's been lying about a lot of shit for a lot of years, and they still have been trying to portray the same storylines that are bullshit. Like we're supposedly have nukes everywhere and atom bombs, atomic bombs all over the place, and that's okay. But other people can't defend themselves. Like, dude, Iran should be able to defend themselves. We're always the bully, but the thing of it is the people that made the bombs and put them in the warehouses and stuff like that. They're all retired, and the new gens aren't picking up. They don't want to go. Maybe like there's a handful of people that think go fight, kill, thrill is really cool. Still, and they're all gung ho about UFC and all kinds of stupid, unuseful things. And there's always gonna be that. There's just more people that are like, you know what? Wars are kind of stupid. Like, we live on a rock, and we're like, can't even agree what the shape of the planet is. It doesn't even really matter what the shape of the planet is. What matters is how people treat each other on the planet. And I knew that was going to happen. Like, I saw Matt spiraling. I was watching him spiral. And there's all you can do is just want him to have a moment of clarity. And every time you see an addict that's been sober, see, when I moved to Oregon, I had been sober 14 years, and I said, fuck it, on New Year's Eve 2017, and I got a bottle of scotch, and I and then I went home, or I took a couple shots, and then I went home, and then drank some more, and then drank for like 6 months, 7 months. Never drank, but consequences always happen to me. I lose my wallet, I lose things, I forget things, I take my glasses off, and then I leave, and then I forget that I took my I'm a mess when I drink, and so that's why I don't do it. And then I realized that nobody would take care of Mom if something happened to me when I was drinking, and so I had a second moment of clarity. And then so watching Matt spiral and stuff like that, I just am like, that could be me anytime. That could always be me. And that level of pain and desperation, it's so easy to avoid. For me, when I am doing things for other people to make other people's life comfortable, it makes my life more comfortable. That's why I want to do pop-up karaoke. And then if there's somebody that comes to the karaoke and they're in the community and they're like, they need something, it's like, okay, what do you need? Like, what, you need a brake job? Like, because it's getting hard for single people, single parents trying to raise kids. It's getting really expensive for a lot of people. There's a lot of people get really, really, really desperate because they're experiencing everything's going up. So, like, any excess they had for any entertainment and any fun is being sucked right up from inflation, or people just raising prices, because that's what you do when gas goes up. Gas goes up and then everybody else follows suit. It's greedy, it's hoggish, and there's enough billionaires in America, and there's way too many people that are just trying to get by. They're just trying to find a place to take a crap every day, honestly. I mean, they don't make it easy for people. They do not make it easy for people to not have addresses. And I have an idea that anybody could get paid. All you need is an app. All you need is an app on your phone, and you use the GIS software that they use on, like, Taos County to do surveying, to designate where property lines are. Same software. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, I can't beat AI. I'm not really a fan of it. I have meta glasses. I use them to basically record and take pictures. I think that when I first got with them, I played with the silly animation picture. None of that's for me. But it's not people with meta glasses that are responsible, or that are filling up data to house it's all of the big companies that have turned over AI. So, like, every time you go to a chat, they're now using AI. Google's been using it for a while. It's always an algorithm that can be monitored and parameters set. It's never not been that. I don't see, in my mind, not much has changed. It's just changed interfaces, or like plugs. Like, when I was a kid, we used to listen to CDs. Before that it was tapes and like 8-tracks and records, vinyl records. And they all have a different sound to them. vinyl's my favorite. You could hear like the little pops and stuff in the vinyl cracks and pops. It's pretty cool. But it's just everything's digital and it's evolved because that's what the world does. It evolves as people evolve. But now they're dumbed down people, and we're living in idiocracy. You keep people from thinking, and then they're easier to control and manipulate, and that's just not fair. That's not keeping people free. Keeping people dumb keeps them trapped. I have faith in the races that have converged on the earthly plane in 2026. Because no, not everybody is human that has opposable thumbs. There's all kinds of hybrid. What is it to be a human? To me, like, if you see somebody that is in trouble, you help them. That's what it is to be a human. But then I look around and people can't be bothered. They're too busy. They gotta pack their loot up to go vend at the car show. They gotta go do the same thing they always done because that's what they always did before. That doesn't bode progress. That doesn't help people. Like, there used to be shows on TV like Extreme Home Makeover. There's only 6,000. Wait, how many properties? I looked this up. Now I'm getting confused. Like the number of people. There's 6,000 people in the town of Taos. There's 34,000. But as far as properties, they're like structures that are livable. There's way more temporary housing than there is long-term housing. It's a problem, just like housing was a problem in Salem. Just like housing is becoming a problem in Flagstaff. Ha ha, that's what you get, Flagstaff. Flagstaff, you suck, because Carrie Gunn, you live there, and people like Carrie Gunn live in Flagstaff. She sucks. So therefore, suck by association. But because there's people want money, and people figure out, like in New Mexico, where I live, in northern New Mexico, it's like you rent a house and you're paying for your mortgage in the house that you're living in, plus the mortgage of the landlord of the place that the landlord that you're paying, they're living in too. It's a whole racket. People are just selfish. They want a lot of money to do nothing. And since money isn't real, let's just make universal income, give everybody $2,000, and if they can't freaking figure out how to put a roof over their heads on that, and how to find a place, to crap and not in a hole in the freaking forest, then have the non-profits and the agencies come in and help them. But most people's problems can be solved with a little bit of money. All the people living in van life, they could keep their shit going better with having income, and not relying on social media, because that's dumb. And then if my app catches on for trash, then people could do that in whatever community they live, instead of standing on the side of the road with the cardboard sign begging strangers for money. They could go out, pick up garbage for 2 hours, and cha-ching, $30 direct deposit on their phone. So people are like, well, what about the fraudsters? What about them? There's going to be frauds, but you're going to have more people that are going to be in integrity, and you're also going to have team leads that, because they're going to, you got a town full of people that are collecting garbage. You're going to have collection points where the mobsters, the garbage truck drivers will come and pick up dumpsters, see? And so I'm going to go out in the community here and kind of ask around other people tell me what they think. Oh, is the temperature bouncing between 69 and 70? Like, it's getting hot in here, but I got a fan right here that I just broke. That sucks. You know what? I broke the frickin' the bird feeder was broken when I went out this morning too. Somebody must be having some ill intentions pointed on me. And then I got to do the I'm rubber and you're glue, whatever you think of me, or ooga booga, return to cinder shit, all that stuff. Man, I never in my whole life wanted ill intentions and bad things happen to people. I had an incident at the store the other day that I could have ruined this lady's whole day. She lost her keys and I saw where the keys went. And at first I didn't say anything because I was mad at her. And then I went into the store and I can't let things go like that. It's malicious. I can't do it. So after I put my card up, I picked up her keys and I said, "Are these your keys?" And she didn't even deserve kindness because she was a jerk. And she didn't even think about her jerkiness. And then Mom, it was a whole thing because I was pulling into a parking space and I'm in a big old Suburban and she's in a little itty bitty mini piece of shit and took Kite by spot. And so I was trying to park, Mom would have been out of the sun, but where I had to park, she was in the sun. And so then I worry about her getting too hot and stuff like that. But my new thing is I just leave the air conditioner on. And she's fine when I run into the store or the post office or whatever. But this lady didn't care and she was a big old jerk and stuff. And like sometimes I don't want to be kind to people because they don't deserve it. And then my creator is like, it doesn't matter what you want, you freaking nah. Nobody cares about how you feel, let freaking, you've lost your keys and what an ordeal that's put you through and how much it sucks, and you don't want to put anybody else through that, do ya? No, I don't. Okay then. Fix that. Alright then, I did. So there should be more things to do. I think kids would love to do scavenger hunts. Or not even kids, people of all ages. Because they like to do that trivial night, right? There's this movie that I watched with came out, God, I was a kid. I was so young. It was Michael J. Fox's first movie. He was 15 years old. Midnight Madness is what it's called. And the mastermind planned out this whole scavenger hunt in a year. And then, the teams go around all over Taos and find clues. And also, when I was growing up in Redding, California, they had rodeo week. They still do this shit, mind you. That's a little loopy. They would have a mock bank robbery someplace in Shasta County, and then someone would steal the loot, and then they would put in really hard clues in the paper for people to find the loot. So there's all kinds of stuff to do. You just don't have. You have people painting pictures of the same mountain over and over, and that's unuseful. That doesn't art should be more than the same. It's money laundering here or something. I go into some of these art studios and know that I did better when I was a 15-year-old kid, and that doesn't help Bonnie. Bonnie's a local lady that has no place to live. She has no address, and she has no um, patience for bullshit. And she'll yell at people downtown that bother her. She's not in the mood. They don't know that she's got hit in the head by a dude that she cared about with an axe. And when people have traumatic head injuries, it changes from who they were to a new version of themselves. And we have to create environments for everybody, even the people we don't understand. But that's where the psychic intuitives and empaths come in. Like mom got a traumatic head injury. Shit, how many years ago? She was 39, she's 75. My math teacher isn't going to be. She's like, okay, now how would you figure that out? I started taking math tutoring lessons because I don't want math to be scary. I don't want to be afraid of anything, including calculus too. So mom's 75. So 75, so 40, or she was 39 when it happened. So that's 36. Minus 1 plus 5. Okay. So 36 years ago, and I have been taking care of her. She took care of herself for a lot of years, and then I became a stay-at-home daughter in 2017. That's when I was like, dude, I can't go to work anymore. She's not taking care of herself anymore. And then, like, it's been the last year, 6 months. 6 months I just started brushing her teeth. And, like, more involved with their toiletries and her hygiene and stuff like that. And she went from her hair being long to cutting it because she'd get like there's evolutions, you know. There's people their needs changes as they get older, and it don't matter if they got a knock in their head or not. They might not even be aware of the changes that they need, right? You always have the caregivers. And then we have and then it got weird. America got weird where people got so greedy that they cared more about selling units of pharmaceuticals that made people sick than taking care of the people, actually. And I know a lot of people that have prospered from, you know, giving away pens and like, think about all the people, like, pharmaceutical representatives. I knew this one guy, he made bank. Because he had the hookup. He had all the connections. And like, every year, all the kids that need vaccines for sports and stuff like that. It's criminal. It's so criminal. America, like, okay. Sometimes when I meditate, I'll go down a path and I'll start to think, like, what if the colonists came over and cooperated with the indigenous and instead of slaughtering, learned the ways and incorporated modern technologies with incorporating modern technologies with the ways of the indigenous and how to keep water clean and having a reverence for life. Because, I mean, pretty much the downfall of society is based on a bunch of pinheads with erectile dysfunction that think farts are funny. And then girls don't want your little wiener. And then they get so mad because, mommy, you told me I had the golden wiener when I was a little boy and I could do no wrong. And now all these hot chicks don't want me. What's that about? Well, what do you talk to them about? Grand Theft Auto? These are the aspirations of what? I don't think that it's the youngest. I don't keep track of generation, so I go by age group. So most people from the age of 20 into their 50s, I think, have the majority of the United States. If you want to know where people are, they've been sitting on their couch playing Grand Theft Auto or Mario Kart, maybe. And none of them know how to do anything useful. Much. Largely because they don't know how. And it's my generation. It's the people I went to high school with, and all the age, the 50s, the Gen Xers or whatever they call us. It's the ones that should have taught your kids how to be independent and take care of themselves. Instead, you just wanted to be your kid's buddy and to do everything for them that you didn't get everything for them that you just never had for yourself. And then, God, now there's all these spoiled brats everywhere and their big stupid trucks racing around, just zooming around because they don't even know how to make peace within themselves. Think about how much America would be if they brought back nap time in kindergarten, because all that is you're teaching a kid how to slow down when they're going 100 miles an hour, and if you teach people how to find the calm within themselves when chaos is around them, then it reduces the potential for that spark to happen, that one flame in every group, whether it's a backfire, somebody pops a gun, whatever it is. And it's happening everywhere. There's large groups of teenage kids that are taking over. They're takeovers with their little zoomy cars. Like, where are your parents? Your parents are like, all right, go trash the streets, but be home by 3. Because you got school tomorrow. Is that, are these the conversations that don't get arrested? Like, Mom used to say, if you get arrested, I'm not bailing you out. I won't do it. You have to deal with the consequences of your actions. But in New Mexico, all you have to do is have the right cousin, and you don't ever get in trouble. Like I just watched this movie that was recommended to me with Bradley Cooper and what's his face? Anyway, and it just shows how broken the system is, because the scumbags run it because they are always getting each other out of trouble, while the people that start out decent and want to do the right thing, and then something like accident happens, and then they get caught up in the system and support the scumbags. It's just so. I'm just gonna keep imagining what the world would be if the colonists didn't come over and take over, if the lizards didn't take over the land, that if they cooperated and instead of developing freaking hotels and dude, Albania is pissed. They are so rightfully so, man. Dude, that's what they're doing, is they're taking over all this stuff. They're wheeling and dealing, so when it is all about his legacy. So when he's done, whether he's dead or alive, whether he makes it to the finish line or whatever, it don't matter. His bloodline, they're set up for generations with like his son, Baron or whatever his name is, $150 million that kid's made in less than a year. But every American's not. And hey, if you don't want your universal income, that's cool. You have your right to waive. Absolutely. If you don't want it, then give it to somebody else, and then somebody else has $4,000 a month. It's just like, money's not real. We should be freaking. Everybody should be living in the lab, not freaking starving and worried about what they're eating at the grocery store. If what they're eating is like I remember reading that when it came out that Gates wanted to 3D print chicken food, bioprint protein is what it was called, and I was like, okay, here we go, icky, icky, icky. And then that's it, it was in all the stores. And then I mean, you notice, like, wait a minute, my chicken used to have veins in it, and it used to have bones in it. You can't get chicken with bones in it anymore. And now I shop at a different grocery store, and it has real chicken. And once you eat real food, you'd be so surprised, like, on how different it tastes from the fake crap you've been eating. I haven't had McDonald's in over 5 years. I don't eat fast food. I don't eat a lot of trash. Sometimes I eat out, but now it's just like it's so mediocre, and I'm giving them 50, 60 bucks for meh. I just cook the food myself. So, and mom's happy. Mom can eat oatmeal for breakfast every day, tuna sandwiches for lunch, some salmon, chicken, or vegetable every night for dinner. She don't care. She's not picky, you know. She is nice and content with nice and light. And then she drinks her dose for her liver health. Because she had 6 inches of her lower intestines cut out. So she don't even process food the way everybody else is. Like, I think most people, their natural courses, like they eat, and then a little while later they gotta go to the bathroom. Mom eats. She doesn't. She goes to the bowel. She has a bowel movement like every 3 days. That's why I take her out so much and keep her so active, because a lot of old people, they sit in a chair and they get constipated. She can't afford to have that happen with all the surgery. And she's been cut open more times, man. Mom's been suffered. Mom has totally suffered in her life. This lady deserves to live in the lap of luxury for the rest of her days. And it is so nice that every morning her new thing is, it's my favorite thing now. One day it's gonna be like a flash in my head, and it'll be a big. Because when you love things, they're just a heartache waiting to happen. They really are. Like, and this now her new thing is she gets up in the morning and she gives me hugs. And to think about how far we've come and how far, like, if I could have thrown all the good stuff away for being mad about stuff that happened, I don't know, 40 years ago, like my brother. My brother looks like a villain in a bad movie. He's a creepy guy. He's got like the Epstein class vibes going on. I pray for him. I pray for him. Anyway, so Mom and I soon in the next few weeks we're gonna take a road trip down to Santa Fe. That might be interesting. There's not really much I want to see in Albuquerque. I would like to take flowers to Zorro Ranch. That's outside of Santa Fe. On Stanley, as a matter of fact. It's 49 Stanley is the address. That's weird to me. 49. That's my birthday. But we're just chilling. I just hang out. My brother had a practice wife that shamed her into being overweight to the point that they got divorced, because that's just shitty. I got a 20-pound weight vest, and I wear that walking around town. What a weird, like, it's just a warped society. Like, what drives, what compels people? What motivates people? I mean, are people still into like horror movies and stuff like that? It kind of goes hand in hand with like horror mentality. Farts are funny. Car shows. Yeah, that tracks. Yeah, yeah, that makes perfect. Yeah, just weirdos until it happens to you. It's just like like I'm trying to figure out why people like that have a place in the world. I mean, I saw my first snuff film when I was 15 and was so disgusted. I did never wanted to hang out with anybody that was into that shit ever again because they just have no soul. Like they have no soul that they think it's. And I've known lots of people that were wicked. Like they didn't have a soul, and I hung out with them. I smoked weed with them, and they tell me about how they dig holes and put little kittens in the hole and bury the cats up to their neck and run over them with lawnmowers and do all this weird twisted shit. And I'd just be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna leave. And we're probably never gonna hang out again because I have reverence for life and you like to put things in your butt and we're not the same. So later, military's full of freaking little limp dick perverts. Full of them. Full of them. Can't get their rocks off unless they're causing harm or hurting somebody. It's sick, it's twisted, but those are the men that run America. To the point that last year they spent $4 billion on male enhancement drugs, boner pills for a bunch of men in charge of the United States that clearly didn't work. So let's yeah, every time I think about the freaking dudes that like the rough stuff, it all ends up the same place. You need it like that because if you don't get it like that, you need a little blue pill to be a fucking man. It's either you gotta be violent or you gotta have a little blue pill. And those are the only ways you can be a man. And I'm a woman. I was born woman and I never needed a pill to be a woman. So what's wrong with all the poser blue pills popping little poser dudes? Your mommy lied to you when she told you that you got the golden one and that all the girls would want yours. She lied to you. Unless you're one of those weirdos that like have like a freaky relationship with your mom, because that's real common in America too. That's everywhere. That chick, that dude that was on American Pie, what was his name? He was famous for screwing a pie on TV because, well, hell, if you're not a pervert in America, then what the fuck are ya? And so he married a woman who's a weirdo, and then they had a little boy who's 12, whose mother is rolling around on the bed taking pictures with them on social media. See, because people are weird. And they get their wires crossed a lot. And then oftentimes in Hollywood, it's like they're doing themselves because that's what narcissists do. They love themselves so much they will have kids. That's what that John Travolta dude did. It's like he's dating his daughter. It's weird how weird they act. And that dude had his own freaking airplane. He's always flown himself because he's too good for commercial or airports and stuff like that. That dude has given me the creeps for years. And I grew up watching Grease, and Urban Cowboy and all that stuff. Saturday Night Live, I like the music. I could leave the stupid movies. It's the false idol worship. Now, like, they never age gracefully. Look at what some of these false idols have evolved to. Anna Faris, namely. I watched Mom for years. It was about recovery. I was into it. I didn't have to go to an AA meeting. I could just watch Mom. It's just like it. And so, what she just did is on a press tour for her, and it's just like, dude, these people, they go out of the spotlight and they become different versions of who they once were, but they get the privilege based on things that they did before. And I'm just like, and all these people going back and talking about movies that happened when I was a kid. These press dockets going around with like Stand By Me. Like, they did one thing and they had good lives for it. So you're telling me every American in the United States isn't worth $2,000? Really? We're still not at universal. We're still sending billions and billions and ungodly amounts to other countries so that they can have everything that they need. But still here in the United States, we are evolving more into a third world country. We're getting closer every day. And I can't even pay attention to what they're doing in DC, because it's all part of the contrived reality, and it just, if I take it to heart, my heart could explode. Like, I think that's why people have heart attacks, is because they get overwhelmed with the level of bullshit that people get away with, while other Americans are rotting in the street, or they can't feed their kids, or their cars, they're living out of their cars, and their cars are breaking down, and they're at their wits' end, and they just can't take it anymore, and they just need they need a break where they can just regroup, and just, people don't have places like that where they can regroup and put their endocrine system back together. Hello, Carol Klein. I've known some Carols. Carol White, she worked for the phone company for like 40, 50 years in Sacramento. She used all of her extra money to buy, like, the year that I lived there, that Christmas, I think what did she say? They spent $2,700 on Christmas tree ornaments and shit like that. That was back in the 2000s, 1990s, back when FAO Schwartz was big. And people would just, or do those exist? Maybe one in San Francisco still. This was Sacramento before I went into the military. Like, that was one Carol. Other Carols, like administrative assistants, stuff like that. Like, names tell me a lot about people because it tells me about the parents that named you. Like, I'm a Margaret. But I'm not named because my personality is at all related and indicative of anybody named Margaret. It's just that Mom's adopted mom was Margaret, and my grandma Edith, the witch, her witch sister Nanias was named Margaret. So I was assigned to Margaret. And then when I was in high school, Pee Wee Herman had come out, so the whole large Marge thing is, and I am a large woman, so I turned out to be a large Marge. So careful about what you hate, because you turn into things you hate. Hated large Marge, now I'm a large Marge. It's what I get. It's what I get. So I try not to hate things. I try real, real hard. I think Mom's asleep now, so I'm going to quit talking. That's all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. Hope you have a rad day. And